recording
We'll
platform
get
or
it
something.
figured out.
Whatever. But anyways, I think the cool thing is I can leave a cliffhanger here. I don't have to tell you guys everything, but I can choose and pick and choose what I want to share that I also think would be helpful to other people. Because if someone else is listening to this and is like, oh fuck, like I've gone through this, or I did this when I was younger and I'm embarrassed for it, at 30 years old and I've never gotten past it or whatever it is. Like, I hope this helps someone. Is my goal.
Right.
But I used to be embarrassed to say this, but I used to identify as a victim, and I felt, and you can attest to this, I felt as though I needed to tell everyone every time, like, here are my skeletons, here's my shit, you better handle it or you better run. And if you can't handle it, yeah, I guess you're just gonna have to run.
But is part of that, do you think, is like a healing process?
No. Or it was not a healing process. It was a defense, like a protect me, because it was either like, I'm going to throw it out there. So whether you're my friend, a love interest or whatever, I'm going to throw it out there. And if you can handle it, then we're okay. If you can't handle it, then you're going to run away real quick, which happened a lot.
Right.
But it was a defense mechanism for myself, because I'm like, I don't want to have to wait till deep into any kind of relationship, whether it's friendship or a boyfriend or anything, to have to share these things, which in reality, it makes a lot more sense to wait till you get to know someone, to share something that maybe is hard in your life. You don't need to throw things out there.
If it needs to be shared.
If it needs to be shared at all, correct. But I'm just saying, like, you don't need to just throw your shit out there at first.
Right.
Or I would share it, like, casually with people, like, oh, I'm good now, like, I'm great, but I wasn't, like, I had just thrown up 6 times that morning or whatever, and I wasn't great, but it was like my way of acting. And then someone listening is probably like, well, how do we know she's not fucking just saying that now? And you're right. I mean, I could, but I truly am, like, in a better position. Like, I really have just.
But you don't own it or owe it to anybody.
I don't owe it to anyone. I owe it to myself. I owe it to my
and that's all that matters. But
I mean, I feel like I identified on various levels, not just an eating disorder level, with other things in my life. I identified on this victim, or identified with this victim mentality, and I was a victim. And now I look at this victim mentality bullshit that everyone identifies with. It makes me angry. It's like with the obesity thing. They look at themselves like they're fucking victims because they're fat and they can't get around this world.
Because of life choices.
But it is their fucking life choices that led them to this. And guess what? It was my life choices. Yes, Weight Watchers helped. It gave me, I guess, encouragement for these types of behaviors. I mean, there were studies done. Maybe not Weight Watchers today in 2021, but the Weight Watchers back when I was 13, that Weight Watchers was known to cause eating disorders. It was, notorious for causing eating disorders. And when I was in eating disorder treatment with the girls sitting around me, they all fucking were on Weight Watchers.
Really?
I mean, it was ridiculous prior to being in treatment.
Right.
And which was funny being in treatment. I mean, if anyone's been listening to our show, they know my personality by now. And so I'm the one in treatment, and all these girls are sneaking food on the fucking table, because in treatment, they make you eat food. Like, you have to eat it in front of these people. Like, you have to pack food.
Really?
When you're in treatment. And eating disorder treatment.
Yeah.
And you have to pack, you have now I'm really getting off another tangent here, but you have a meal plan. And you have to follow that meal plan. And so when you go I was in outpatient. I wasn't in inpatient treatment. So I wasn't like hospitalized or whatever, but I was in outpatient treatment, but I had to go meet whatever amount of days a week. I forget how many days it was. It was a significant amount of my week that I actually missed school for it, that I had to get like a pass and do my work outside of school.
So there's where it all stems from. You just wanted to get out of school.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was so exciting to like have to make up my school.
I was trying to make it funny and bring some light to it.
So funny. You're so funny. But so they give you a meal plan, and me being the determined person that I am, and I'm like, well, fuck it. If I'm going to do this shit, then I'm going to eat everything on this meal plan. But the first day they gave me this meal plan, I called my mom crying on the way home, and I was like, these motherfuckers want to make me eat this many calories a day. I hate them. I'm never going to go here. They're going to make me fat. And I was like, a couple weeks into it, I'm like, oh, they're probably right. Like,
this isn't so bad.
This is a good thing. But these girls would like sneak food like under the table. They would like try to like shove food like in a trash can, like slide it away. And I'd be like, motherfucker, if I gotta eat this shit, you gotta eat this shit.
Snitch.
If I have to eat it, you fucking have to eat it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and shove my face in front of it, because you have to eat in front of the people for the program. I'm not gonna fucking shove my face in front of these people. If you're gonna just hide food on the table, that's not how it's gonna work. So I was a little snitch, because I'm like, that's not fucking fair. I'd be hiding my food if I could, but no. Not gonna happen.
So what is it about this country though that has put us? Is it just fast food? Is it like what is your personal opinion as far as why it is so? I mean, you can look at any study. It's been done, and they're like, look, America has some issues.
So I think it's gluttony, and I think the fact that our country has so many options for different fast food. Easy, not the necessarily healthy option for food for people. It's the easy kind of like cop-out method, like to get your food. You don't have to put any effort into steaming a vegetable and cooking a piece of meat on your grill. Or
so I've heard that, and this may be completely out there, completely far-fetched, but I have heard that is how... You're going to think I'm this crazy conspiracy theorist. The government wants us is stupid, slow, fat.
It's possible.
So that's why things are so...
That's possible.
Bad. And why it's so easy to get and consume, and people do it so often. And
it's possible. But I think it's gluttony, and I think that the ease of being able to get anything and everything at the tips of your fingers. I mean, you can get anything that you want. Yeah. With
no effort.
No effort. I mean, they fucking deliver shit to your house. Sarah and I, when we were hanging out the night that you were at work, they delivered Chipotle to our house for $1.
Right.
$1 for the delivery fee. And I'm like, Chipotle's not bad. I mean, I'm not knocking Chipotle. I love Chipotle. But I'm just saying, like, they make it so easy to not have to put any effort into maybe making a different choice, and just I hate using the word like treat, but like giving yourself a treat every once in a while for like something different that you don't have to maybe cook that evening. And I understand, like, I don't cook 5 nights a week. So like my mom and I had this conversation. She's like, you don't cook 5 nights a week. So like we discussed how, some people don't want to cook 5 nights a week, 7 nights a week. I cook 2 nights a week on our weekends, and I meal prep for you and I.
You still cook.
I cook. I just cook in abundance,
so it's
She said, she brought up a good point. She's like, you don't cook 7 nights a week, so like a lot of people don't want to cook that many nights. I said, I totally understand that, but what is the problem with even meal prepping for meals? Like for dinner, like you could make ahead even a lasagna for dinner. There's nothing wrong with making a homemade lasagna for you and your family and sitting down and having a meal together, and not going out to a fast food restaurant or get takeout from some restaurant where you're eating these separate meals. Like, there's something to be said for having a shared meal at home, sitting down at a table together and eating. I feel like
back to that face-to-face conversation, especially with your family.
I feel like you eat less.
Yes.
I feel like you feel more satisfied, because you're satisfied not just with food, but you're satisfied with love, you're satisfied with company, you're satisfied with so many other feelings that food should be surrounded with. I'm not talking about every meal. Like, when I eat my fucking breakfast, am I feeling like I should feel loved right now while I'm eating my breakfast? No, I'm trying to shovel that shit down so I can get on with my day. Lunch, same thing. Like, I need to get a meal down so I can go on with my day. But when you share a meal with people, if you can share one meal a day with people that you care about, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you should have other emotions with it.
Growing up, we always had family dinner. Now, my dad worked a lot. He worked crazy hours, so he didn't always have that luxury. But if he was not working, we had a family meal. And even if he was working, it was usually like, you know, me and my siblings and my mom, you know, we would still have a family meal together. Now, obviously, as everybody got older and things changed, and then, you know, my brother and sister were working, and, you know what I mean? Things did change a little bit. But looking back at it now, like, I remember vividly. I mean, that's what we did, you know?
Question for you. Did your parents clean plate you? Should we define clean plating? You got to finish your plate before you leave the table. I'm not trying to be mean. Like, did your parents clean plate you?
Yes and no. Like, you weren't going to sit down and just eat nothing, right? Mm-hmm. Their thing was try it. You know, don't sit there and tell me you don't like it. Mm-hmm. Try it.
Right.
Which I agree with, because I feel like it's helped me today. There's nothing that I won't try.
Right.
And there are a lot of things that I eat that most people will be like, what in the fuck?
Right.
But I think that's important. A couple of times I did, but I feel like that's when it was like, I don't like anything. I'm just not going to eat. I'm not, you know, and they used to tell me, eat it now, or you're eating it for breakfast.
Oh,
you know,
that threat.
And I never did, obviously. Like you know, it was a threat to just try and get you to eat or try something different.
Right.
And now I'm going, God, I would love to have certain things back that, you know what I mean? That you were like, it's so gross. Right. And now it's like,
it's so good.
Amazing. I love it, you know?
So one theory that I've heard is like the baby boomers. So like my parents' generation, your parents' generation, their parents they grew up either through the Great Depression or just out of the Great Depression.
Right.
So maybe even the generation right before, depending on how they were born. Like my grandparents obviously grew up during the Depression because they were much older. So during the Great Depression, I mean, they didn't have much. I mean, they were eating what they could. I mean, it was not, there was no gluttony.
You wasted nothing.
You wasted nothing, and you ate what you had, and you didn't bitch about what you had, you know? So I've heard of theories of a lot of this clean plating, that it came from the Depression age parents forcing it upon their children, again, not out of any sort of trying to
not torturing anybody.
But because they came from nothing, and they're like, hey, I'm providing you all this food, like you need to eat that. We are not going to waste anything in this household, whatever. And so this idea of clean plating has continued among the generations. And obviously, as time has gone on, our options, our food has gotten more, we have more options. And I feel like the food, I hate to say like it's gotten worse, but like we have more preservatives, we have more crap in all our food. Like what happened to just eating like whole foods, not clean foods, because I hate that fucking term, whole foods, whole nutritious foods. Like eat a fucking carrot for once in a while, which I can't eat because it makes my hands orange. Even though I love carrots and I love sweet potatoes, but they make me orange. They turn orange. Not my whole body, my hands. My hands turn orange. Anyways, but this theory of like clean plating, which has in turn, because all our portion sizes have gotten bigger, everything has gotten bigger as the years have gone on, and the clean plating has continued. And so as the portions have gotten bigger, the clean plating has continued. It's encouraged people to finish everything on their plate. But here's the funny thing, and it's not funny, but like ironic thing. Did I not used to clean plate you all the time? Do you remember that when we first started dating?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent,
I pretty
feel
heavily
like you did.
clean plated you.
And you still don't like to waste
I don't like to waste food. I don't like to waste food.
Which I get.
It's money, because I spend, not like my money, but I see what money we spend on groceries because I physically go do the grocery shopping. I don't like to waste money on groceries. So I try to do well spending enough of like, what are we just going to eat for this week? And we can always go get extra if we need to. Like we don't need extra in the house. We're capable of going out and get more. But I used to clean plate you. And it wasn't because I think you needed to eat more or whatever it was, but it was my own I don't know if my parents necessarily clean plated me. They might have, like, they encourage you to like finish your plate, like you better finish your plate before you leave or whatever. And again, not out of
That was a thing, and I'm glad you said that. Encourage
you to clean your plate
like,
or whatever.
Just eat your food.
Yeah,
And it's not like
finish
I
your
was getting
dinner.
these horrible, unhealthy
No, my
portions
mom
or
was a good
anything like
cook when
that.
she still is a good cook. Like,
I was.
I mean, I clean my mom's plate still to this day because she's a good cook. So
I was very fortunate growing. I mean, my mom was a.
I voluntarily
I
clean my
should say,
plate
but-
nowadays because I like to.
No, yeah.
I'm not saying you can't finish your plate.
Right.
But I'm talking about when people are being forced to finish their dinner when they don't want to finish their dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I used to clean plate you because I was imparting my own disordered eating on you. Like, I didn't allow myself to eat enough that my body needed, but
Right.
I was like eating through you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
One thing I've tried to do always, and I'm not always good at it, but just not eating till I feel like I'm gonna burst.
Yeah.
Now there are times, especially at like family dinners or parties, or I'm, just like everything is so good, I just can't stop.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's not like something you're doing every day. Just eating and like I'm good.
Right.
Like I'm not, or if I want more, I'll go get more.
Right. So I kind of got off track with like the hay stuff, but like, let me take it back a little bit. So we have we do have a major, how do I want to say this eloquently? I think they talk about these epidemics and all these things that we have going. I think we have an obesity epidemic in this country. I truly do.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at my BMI and it tells me that I am borderline obese, and I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, okay, like I could lose a few pounds, but I don't think I'm obese.
Right.
Like,
where does that come from though? Like who makes?
So I don't think the BMI is accurate. The BMI does not take into account like my muscle mass. It doesn't take into account my fat ratio. Like, it's not taking into account that. And I'm not saying I'm Miss Muscular or whatever, but I do know that I do have some strength to me, that
Right.
I'm not just, I'm not mainly fat and, bone. Like,
Right.
I work out. Like, I try to take care of myself. So I know that I have some muscle on me.
So on the next episode, we're gonna arm wrestle live.
Correct.
But yeah,
Yes.
keep going.
So the BMI doesn't take into account any of that. It
Right.
is strictly your height and your weight and like whatever.
And that's it.
Yes, that is all it's
Age.
taking. Age, height, and weight. And that's all it's taking into consideration. And so like for me, it considers me overweight and I'm like getting to like borderline like obese or whatever. And I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, okay, yeah, like I could totally lose a few pounds. And where I'm at and like because I'm not considered recovered when it comes to an eating disorder, but like where I'm at in my recovery, I am not okay with dieting, and I'm not okay with restricting, and I'm not okay with counting calories. I'm just not doing that. And I feel like now where I'm at, I eat we were just discussing this morning. I eat pretty freely. I eat healthy, but I also can eat what I want for the most part when I want. And we finally bought a scale after all these years because my therapist encouraged me to buy a scale for the first time, and bought a scale, and she's been having me monitor my weight. My weight hasn't fucking changed. I ate a fuck ton of pizza last Saturday, and I weighed myself this week, and it hasn't fucking changed. What?
No, I was just listening to you. I was trying to pull up some of these charts.
It's just when you do things in moderation, like it's not going to change your body drastically, and like
Right.
that's what I had to teach myself, is like doing things in moderation. Yeah, like I'm in like considered in like the overweight category. I'm like,
so if you are, this doesn't say. This just says adults. Is it different for males and females?
no,
No, so it's the same.
yeah, it's the same.
20, 30 and above.
What are you looking at?
So technically for my age and my height,
Yeah.
I should be like 150 pounds.
So that's like for me, I should be like 110 pounds or something like that. I think
That's
I was
kinda crazy.
I think I was 110 pounds when I came out of the womb.
That's
Like-
well, that might be
exaggeration, but
that might
but
be a
I'm
little
just saying,
drastic,
like,
but
for me,
it is crazy because if you look at somebody that's 6 foot tall and they are, let's just say 25 to 30, 120 pounds.
right.
I would be interested to see what a 6 foot tall person looks like from 25 to 30 years of age at 120. That's exactly where that line goes. 120 pounds.
Isn't that crazy? But yeah, I don't like the BMI, and they're trying to get away from the BMI.
Mm-hmm.
But like we did the thing for our health insurance for work today,
So if
and
you,
it calculated our BMI.
if you are 6 foot tall and you're 30 years old,
Yeah.
so if you go to 6 foot and you're about 30 years old and you are even close to 140 pounds, you're obese.
No, wait, what?
If you're 6 foot tall
Uh-huh.
and you're 30 years old and you're 140 pounds, you're obese.
No, that's not how it works.
That's crazy.
You're not looking at that graph right.
Yeah, okay.
You're
That's
not
height
looking-
no
you're not-
shoes.
You're not reading that graph right.
Then explain it to me.
You're not reading that right. They're giving, no. That has nothing to do with age.
Okay.
That is like just like that. They're just giving you the points on the BMI. That's all that it is.
Whatever.
Those aren't ages. The BMI is off. Is all I'm
it
saying.
said age,
It's
but yeah,
off.
it's not age.
It's not. What?
The BMI is off.
The BMI is off. I forget where I was going with this.
I don't know.
What is that? Okay. So what I was trying to get to is that, so you have the haze stuff going
Right.
on, whatever. So it's one thing when things affect adults, because as adults, we are free to make our own choices. And you would think that we're mature enough and old enough to see the realities around us and be educated enough to I'm stuttering today. Educated enough to make good choices for ourselves.
Right.
Do we always make good choices for ourselves? No. No one's expecting you to make the best choices for yourselves all day, every day.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you should be able to make good, solid decisions for yourself, for your future. Because though, yes, you could die tomorrow, you could die the next day, whatever it is, but you should be looking long term for your future.
Mm-hmm.
I have hopes and dreams and aspirations to live to the degree that my grandparents lived. My grandpa, died at 98 years old, and my grandma died at 96 years old. Like, I hope that
so
I can
crazy.
live to the age that they lived. And then guess what? They probably would have lived a lot fucking longer if all this bullshit wouldn't have gone on. But
Right.
I'm not going to get on that rant because I'm still angry about it. But anyways.
Put the knife
I'm
down.
not laughing about it, but
No,
I'm not laughing about them, but I'm
I
laughing
get
at
it.
myself because I get angry. So that's my way of coping with it. But so adults, we can make our own decisions for
Mhm.
ourselves. Do you know what is fucking criminal though? Is when they're imparting this upon children. Okay, and so right now, I think it's called Beautiful Me. Is this book? It's a
Okay.
children's book. I believe it's called
Yeah, look at it.
Beautiful Me. I think it's called Beautiful Me. Beautiful Me children's book.
I'm gonna pull it up on here just in case anybody is
Yeah,
watching.
Beautiful Me children's book. Oh,
Is it
can
the
you
picture book?
pull that up right there?
This
Yes.
which one? This one?
Yes. By Nabella Noor. Open that shit up. Look at the cover of that. Can you just click that? I don't know if they can see it on our camera. No, they can't see it. Okay, but it's
Google
by,
it yourself.
yeah,
but
Google it yourself by Nabella. It's Nabella Noor. Noor. It's called Beautifully Me, and it is this children's book. Or I don't know if it's a children's book. Is it a children's book? Yeah, it
I
looks
don't know,
like
it
it.
didn't really. I mean,
It
it
looks
looks
like
like it, but yeah, it doesn't.
So
say.
it's a children's book essentially, and it is about some young girl who is essentially overweight. She talks about
in
it's
a
book
world
about-
where your worth is determined by your looks.
Yeah, so it's about loving yourself exactly how you are. And it's promoting this young girl who is extremely overweight to young children who are reading this book. To me, I had a conversation with someone about this. She knows who she is. It is fucking child abuse to do this to children. Children have no idea and they have no capability of making this decision for themselves. Just like they have no business making decisions on their fucking gender or what gender they want to be in their future. They have no business.
And again, it's not like you have to be 13 years old, male or female, and be this.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about children who are 300,
but that's
400,
what I'm saying. When
and 500 pounds.
When you get to the point where it gets carried away and it starts to become a health concern, a health issue.
Yes. And when their joints are getting worn down, they're having already major health concerns on their working organs. Like you are 10 years old, whatever it is, you should not be taking pills and doing shit to counteract your weight.
Right.
Like I'm on medication. We were just discussing last night. I'm on medication for my fucking migraines, and I despise being on this medication. Yes. I take it because my migraines, I'm allegedly that I get 15 times a month. I don't even know if they're migraines because my doctor tells me that they're not migraines. So I don't know. We'll find out. I don't want to be on this medication. I want to be off of it. So if I can find a different route.
Medication is not the way to go.
It's not okay for you.
It's not. Because like it was explained to us last night, and I never really thought about it, I guess. So you start taking a medication for this issue.
Your cholesterol.
Your cholesterol. And then you have to start taking that cholesterol medicine has side effects that affect your kidneys. So now you have to start taking a medication down the road to help your kidneys, because that is called. But now that has a side effect that makes you go blind. So now you're taking something for blindness, and now you're taking something for. It's a chain reaction, and it's done because it is a business. They don't care. They don't care about what's good for you. It is a multi-trillion-dollar industry.
Right.
So don't give a fuck. Pump it out. Make people take it, and we're going to reap the benefits of it. There are other ways to go about.
Absolutely.
Getting results and fixing issues that are out there, but they're not put out there and they're not explained and they're not described because there's no huge profit for that the way there is in medications. So
when it comes to my migraine medication, I wouldn't have gone on it unless it had been a last resort. You know how fucking miserable I was. I'm not saying that
you can't take medicine you know what I mean? Yeah. That's not what we're saying here, but it's just,
if you don't if there's other options, you don't want to be on it. You
have to do a little bit of your own research, because if you go to the doctor nowadays and you say, man, my big toe hurts 3 times a fucking day,
they're going
to start cramming pills down your throat. I feel sad and I'm tired. They'll
give
start
you
cramming fucking pills down your throat.
Here's the
I
other
don't agree
thing.
with it.
But so here's the other thing is I never wanted to be like on anxiety medications, things like that. I do take a prescription medication now for like a low level, whatever, like a, I don't even know what they consider it. It's like they consider it an anxiety medication, but it was to help me get through like the last leg of my eating disorder treatment that I'm going through. I do like it. I think that it's a very mild. It's not an SSRI where it makes you go, if you forget to take one, where it makes you go fucking up and down in these crazy waves. Mine's a 24-hour. It's not like a narcotic. Like it's not Xanax. It's not controlled stuff. No, but it's a 24-hour release. Like it is a very low level, and it helps me for the moment. Do I plan on being it for a very long term? Hell fucking no, because I don't want to be on something like that for the rest of my fucking life.
Right.
Because it's not my crutch, and I do think that they have a place in your life, just like any medication has a place in your life. But I also think that medication is used to maybe help promote you to get into the right direction, and then to learn, just as I'm doing in the last couple legs of my treatment, and we still call like treatment, therapy, whatever you want to call for my eating disorder, that I still deal with on the back end, that I'm still in a good place, but I still deal with issues on the back end. I take that just to make sure that I'm good. We don't want to go backwards. But I'm learning a lot of different coping skills that right now I don't think I need it.
Right.
And it's like, At some point, I'm just going to rip the fucking Band-Aid off because I don't think I need it.
Just don't do it cold turkey because I don't advise doing that either.
No. Yeah, it has to, you have to talk to your doctor and you have to go off. Now, the one that I take, mine's cold turkey because it's 24 hours.
Oh.
Mine is like when you're done, you're done. You just, you don't have to take it anymore.
So I think
Other
that's
ones
some
are not.
of my thing with like.
That's why I like mine because mine's not a built up in my system shit.
If you look at medical marijuana, for example.
Right.
Why don't we? I know there's people out there pushing for it and stuff, but you know why it's not? You know, it's not legal.
Because it's the pharmaceutical companies aren't benefiting off of it. Yeah.
And there's certain other people, politicians, that benefit off of.
What was that voice?
that I was clearing my throat. That benefit off of the pharmaceutical companies.
Oh, for sure.
It's just like anything, right? If people are in it for themselves, they don't care. It's the same way with the healthcare system here in the United States. It's a business.
Right.
And people don't care. What did we say last night? A patient cured is a customer lost.
Right.
So why are you going to promote things and put things out there that are going to take away from your business when you can continue to reap the benefits of it?
I get that. And it's like, if, right now, going way back to the beginning of our conversation, if truly, just think about this. If you're listening to us still at this point in time, you haven't turned us off because you're going, what the fuck are they talking about? Just think about it. Our government right now is telling us that they have our best interests in mind and that they want to help us achieve immunity and get better and all the things. If they truly had our best interest in mind, don't you think that they would be throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this fucking virus, including, but not limited to, maybe promoting people to get healthier and not be fucking obese?
Right. But what are they doing instead? They're pushing for the vaccines.
Instead.
Whose names are attached to the vaccines?
The pharmaceutical companies.
Which is a trillions of dollar
Correct.
fucking
I'm
it's not trillions. I could be missing.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
It's
that
big
for the
business.
benefit of
It's
everybody.
Big business.
Yes.
It's all it is. It's big business.
And who do you think's getting a cut of that?
Politicians.
Let's be fucking honest here. Again, like you said, if you cared, we would. If you truly cared, you mean to tell me you would really just invest in this one solo thing?
One. We talked about last night.
And there's what is there? 3 different companies we're at now for the vaccine?
Yeah.
Okay, but one option. That's all you have.
How many different ways? I mean, I'm not asking like a actual figure, but
Right.
like there's multiple different ways that they treat cancer. There's multiple different ways that they even treat an eating disorder.
Yes.
There's multiple different ways that they treat
Anything.
PTSD. There's
Everything.
That's my point. So
Right.
there's multiple ways that they treat everything. Why? For this pandemic. There's not a pandemic of eating disorders. There's not a pandemic of fat people. There's not a pandemic of PTSD veterans, which you might even be able to argue that there are.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say this like sarcastic.
No,
like I'm just saying that,
I get it.
I'm trying to be facetious here, like that there's, they're blowing all this out of the water. But you're saying that there's this pandemic for this fucking coronavirus, and you're telling me that there's only one way that we're going to fix this problem, and it's with a fucking vaccine.
Yes.
That you're telling me that
Which is going to benefit.
We know the long-term effects, people. We know the long-term effects. They'll be okay. But we've only been testing it for a year and a half, but we know the long-term effects. It'll be okay.
What have you been saying? In a couple of years or 10 years or 15 years or whatever, you're going to be watching the Maury Povich show one day, and that infomercial is going to come on.
If you've received the vaccine from Pfizer, please call
1-800
blah, 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 blah.
You are entitled to a large sum of money.
Blah, 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 blah.
It's going to happen. Look,
it's like the mesothelioma commercial or whatever it is.
Or hernia mesh surgery or whatever
like,
other things are out there.
Come on, people. Wake the fuck up. Like, I'm glad we said this deep into the episode so, like, we don't get canceled at this point.
And here's the thing. We just had a conversation with a close friend.
A very smart person.
This evening, tonight, when we were picking up items for...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we discussed... It's not that we're anti-vaxxers, right? And I think there may be a time and a place for the vaccine if that's what you want to do for COVID, obviously.
So they've now figured out that we're not
Or if you
vaccinated.
have... I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting that thing.
Me either.
Not going to happen. So if you don't like it, I don't
I
fucking
guess
know
we're
what to tell you.
vacationing at home from now.
That's fine. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I mean, I really don't. And I think that's
when you're
another
all
big thing.
zombies in 20 years and we're living at large.
You need to be able to make your
Good.
decision.
I'm
right?
just kidding. I didn't mean that.
You shouldn't be told what you're going to do
You shouldn't
with
be.
something like that.
You should
Because
be able
again,
to make the own decision.
we go back to what's going to happen in 10 years when everybody's fucked because of this thing. Because if you think the government cares about you, you're
so
fucked.
wrong.
You're fucked.
So
And if you
wrong.
put your trust in them, like, we're not
I
crazy.
got him on a rant. I love this.
We're
keep going.
not crazy,
keep going.
right? And we're not these conspiracy theorists, but it's been
We are.
demonstrated
Keep going. Keep going.
time and time again.
Go.
You cannot put your faith in an organization who doesn't give a fuck about you. I don't care if you're left wing,
We got knife hand going here, people. You can't
Right
see it,
wing,
but we got knife hand.
Republican, Democrat. I don't care your race, your religion, your background. They don't fucking care about you.
don't.
They're in their own business and they're out for themselves.
They are.
And the minute you put your trust in them, it's going to fuck you. I don't know how else to say it, right? And again, and I'm not this crazy guy. I'm not anti-government. I'm not even anti. Well, I shouldn't say that.
What?
We're not going to go. But just think about it. And look, it's already demonstrated itself. Again, if you truly cared about your people, you would do everything that you could to get rid of this thing.
Everything but the kitchen sink you would throw at it.
Right. And it hasn't been done because we have faith in this billion-dollar company that's going to give you the vaccine. And
Was that your Biden impression?
No. It was just, you're out of your fucking mind. Right? I mean, let's just be honest.
If you got the vaccine because it was your own personal decision,
it's not a knock
that
on
is
you
one
at
thing.
all. It is not. Yes, we are
Good
not here to knock you for that. No,
No,
if
no.
that's what you want, 100%.
But if you're making that decision based on believing
For yourself.
Making it for
Yes.
yourself, that's one thing. But making the decision because you believe in the believe what the government's telling you, and the bullshit that they're spewing.
Yes.
You need to, if you're making the decision to get the vaccine, you need to trust the science and you need to trust in the medical community.
I'm all about that.
And trust your doctor.
But
at that point in
here's
time.
my thing. The minute
Not the fucking government.
The minute the government gets involved,
yeah.
all of that other shit goes
does not.
away. It doesn't matter what my doctor says. It doesn't, and this is just me personally. But it doesn't matter what any doctor or scientist says. The minute
Right.
the government's involved, it's fucked.
When has
I'm sorry.
the government got involved in any other medical thing that you've ever
Were
been
they
involved
around during
in?
the fucking AIDS epidemic years ago?
Well,
I mean, truly, genuinely?
Not
Were they out there
genuinely.
trying
Not
to cure it and
not-
figure it out
yeah,
and
I
fucking
mean,
help people? No. Have they done it every single year when the flu kills however
well,
many people a
you
year?
could go even as far as like the opioid epidemic.
100%.
The fucking
Where are they at?
pharmaceutical companies are still even feeding the problem.
Yes,
And they
we
have
haven't
lobbyists in
and we haven't shut them
Washington.
down.
No,
You know why?
because it's money.
Because everybody's making fucking money off of it.
Right.
And if it was an issue, then yes,
Right.
you would shut that fucking shit
Yeah.
down, quit handing
if you
that
actually
shit out.
cared about your people.
Yes, quit handing that shit out like it's fucking candy, because that's exactly what they're doing. They don't care. They don't
I
care
like
if you
this.
get addicted.
You're angry. I like this. Woo, he's feisty today.
It's just, I don't always voice.
You don't.
You and I will have conversations. There are
At
certain
home.
things about my political beliefs and even religious beliefs and stuff like that I don't vocalize, because there are things that I personally truly like to keep intimate and close.
Right.
That's just me.
I'm a big mouth.
I've always been that way, and I'm not knocking you for that.
I'm just big mouth.
I'll have a conversation with anybody about
Right.
anything. That's not the issue. But again, when you sit back and you just look at the cold hard facts that are in front of you, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out.
Right.
Get away from the fucking mainstream media, get away from social media, and do your own independent, and just have a little bit of common sense and independence behind you, right? Formulate your own decision. Don't be swayed.
I think that's the biggest thing is that
And I know that's hard, because everybody, no matter what you read or what you listen to, everybody has their own
correct.
motive, their own agenda behind it.
But you need to read multiple things,
And
and you need to make your own
100%,
decision that's
yes.
based on your own opinions
Right.
and what is best for you. And you also need to talk to your doctor.
100%. Well,
know,
yes.
But if you trust your doctor, I mean, a lot of people have doctors that they trust in, they've been with for years, and they trust their medical advice.
Yes, but they're being pushed and told.
Some doctors, my doctor didn't even ask me anything about COVID, and it was amazing.
I know,
and I
but
was like, I love you so much.
How
for
many
it.
times prior to has that happened to everybody? I went for a physical, and I don't want to say she was cramming it down my throat, but it was like,
My
you
doc-
need to do it. You need to. Do you want to do it today?
I
You
went
need
for
to
a
do it.
physical, and she didn't even mention anything COVID. It was amazing.
And my question to my doctor was, I don't know anything about it. Explain it to me. You just need to get it done.
How about the other
If
doctor I told you I went to?
Tell me anything fucking about it.
Yep.
I don't care what your hospital fucking
Yep.
policy says or your practice's company's policy says. I don't care. When I ask you a question about medical advice and you can't fucking explain it to
Okay,
me,
that tactical pen is getting awfully close over here.
shove it in your eyeball. I don't want anything to do with it.
Right.
Right? And I think as a doctor, if you're not doing your own research, your own legitimate research,
Mm-hmm.
and not providing, again, the service that's best for your people, you shouldn't be practicing.
I
You
agree.
should have no part of it. Fuck your political views. And I hate to say it, but your religious views shouldn't even have anything to do with that. Unless that's like your specialty and you're doing it because of that
Right.
and that's your thing.
Right.
Okay. But you have to have a separation in there.
I agree.
My opinion.
I agree.
So
I just
that's all I have. I'm
I
going
just-
back to muting my mic now.
stop. I just really don't think the government should have a hand when it comes to that.
Stay the fuck out of everything.
But they have, but they have a hand in this. But when it comes back to the obesity problem that they have, it's like they're pushing for people to be fat. I mean, again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm fat shaming people, but like it is really obnoxious when like when I was. So I hate to keep like bringing up the eating disorder thing, but I think this is like what really made me angry about this is because when you're truly going through eating disorder treatment and you're truly opening your eyes up to the real world of not trying to use diets to fix every problem.
Right.
Because that's what I used to do. It was like, oh, fuck, I'm just going to stop being bulimic. I'm just going to go on the next diet. And like, I'll stop being bulimic by doing that.
But you can also diet all you want. You can't diet sitting on the couch and expect things to happen.
Don't diet though. Don't diet. So that's
So
my PSA.
What's
Don't
our
diet.
haiku about dieting? Magnet say.
What does it say? I forget. I
No,
haven't read it.
no, no, no,
No.
So
I
don't
bought
do
that
it.
years ago. Don't diet because it's not good. I mean, just if you eat moderation, I mean, I wish I could post like a transformation picture because even for me, like I haven't dieted and I've eaten the fuck out of pasta and bread and peanut butter and every other like thing that I never ate when I was deep in my
And
eating
you're
disorder.
still a dime piece.
Well, thank
so
you.
good on you.
But I'm not saying that this should be the end result, but like I've lost weight, not because I needed to lose weight, but my body is finally figuring out where it wants to be.
Yeah.
Not because I'm eating more calories than I've ever eaten in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm eating them. I'm clearly keeping them down, but I'm working out and I'm being healthy and my body is figuring out what it wants.
Right.
Okay. So like I'm not dieting. I'm just eating and I'm feeling satisfied and I'm not overeating. I mean, there are times that we overeat because sometimes you get drunk and you overeat.
But again,
and whatever.
that's
it's okay.
It's still okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not
Yes.
knocking myself for. I'm just saying like, whatever. Like I just go like along with it. Like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I go about my life. But like it's not an issue. Like I just go along with it. My body. That's the cool thing about it that I figured out is that my body takes care of me. Like it figures it
Right.
out.
But you also have to take care of it.
But again, that
order
was
to
my
reap
point.
those benefits.
Is if I ate at McDonald's every single day, it is not gonna take care of me. I take care of my body because I do put good, whole, nutritious foods into it. Do I eat pizza once in a while? Fuck yeah, I do. Do I eat bread and pasta? Fuck yeah, I do. But I eat homemade fucking shit that doesn't have preservatives and bullshit that's in it.
Yes.
That my body likes a lot fucking better than all the box shit.
Yeah.
Both our bodies like it better. And we
Yeah.
both respond way better to it and don't
I'll
feel
tell you
like
what.
dog shit after it.
We could come in here and eat a 5-gallon bucket of homemade pasta
And a 5-gallon bucket of
or a box
yeah.
of store-bought pasta. and the store-bought shit after a box,
I'll eat the 5-gallon bucket of homemade.
you'll feel like shit.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's crazy.
It's night and day difference.
And again, I don't think until you're away from it, you realize.
Yeah,
You
but
know
I'm
what I
just
mean?
saying, like, taking care of your body and making different choices. If I take care of my
Body's a
body,
temple. You need to take care of
oh
it.
yeah. But if I take care of my body, it's gonna pay me back. Like, it's gonna pay me
Right.
back, and it's gonna take care of me if I keep treating it right. But I just, I don't know. It really bothers me. And like, when I think about like how much we pay little into our health insurance because we have a government job, we have good
We're
health
very
insurance.
fortunate
We're very
with
very
benefits,
fortunate when it comes to that. My parents, well, my dad's old. He's an old man, but my mom pays a lot for health insurance right now. Like, she pays a fuck ton for health insurance
Yeah.
because my dad doesn't work for a city anymore. And it's crazy. When she told me how much she pays per month for health insurance, I almost like fell over. I'm like, that's like what people normally pay. Like, that's
Right.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank God for government jobs. Like, I will never leave. Like, thank God for it. But anyways, I'm like, okay, so we're paying for this, but like, who the fuck is paying for all these fat asses sitting on their couch who don't have jobs, aren't paying for medical insurance, aren't paying for shit?
Well,
I'm
that's the other
fucking
issue
paying
now.
for it.
Now you don't even have to work.
No.
You don't. And
No,
people
you
haven't
don't have to
worked
get
for
off your
months and
fucking
years.
couch.
And there are people that are.
My voice is sounding really nasally right now. I'm getting all angry and shit.
I'm angry.
My wine's almost gone too because I'm all angry. Keep going.
Just crazy.
Go on.
I don't know what I was gonna say. Get off your ass. Go do something. Go
Go
get a
do
job.
something. But the children thing, like,
Yeah.
going back to that Beautifully Me thing, in no world is it okay to allow your child to get that heavy. And it, aside from like the health concerns with it, when I say it's child abuse, sure, you love your child just the same, and their outer
Right.
structure is just their body. There's
Yeah.
so much more to a person than the way they look on the outside.
Yes.
And it took me, so I was 13. I'm not very good at math. How many? 17 years to figure that
Sure.
out. 17 years. Did I just do fast math in my
You
head?
did.
I did really.
I mean, I held up
fucking-
the numbers for you, but yeah. you
Fucking
did.
fat. You did not hold up the numbers. I did fucking fast math in my head. I'm so proud of myself. Anyways, 17 years. That's a fucking long time to realize that I am worth more than my outer shell.
Mm-hmm.
I can have cellulite on my legs. I can have a little flop and a little jiggle or whatever the fuck my body decides to do as I get older. I'm worth more than that. So
There you
I'm
go.
not saying that you have to be this perfect specimen of a human being,
Mm-hmm.
but to allow children to be so overweight, you're setting them up for failure. And you can love them all you want when you're at home, but when you send them off to school, you're telling me that they're not getting bullied.
Well, that's another
and they're
thing.
not getting
In
pushed
today's
around.
world, it's such a cruel world, especially for kids.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, and social media, and they're gonna get on there and they're gonna talk shit, and they're gonna.
Or you just brought up a good point. You go on social media, and then you have all we talked about, I think, last episode with the porn episode about like the internet not being reality,
Yeah.
and going on where you can change literally everything.
Yeah.
So I started a TikTok
Do you
for
have a
us.
freckle on you don't like? You
I
get
started a
rid of
TikTok
it.
for
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
and one of the first TikToks that came up for whatever reason when I started our page, it was some girl demonstrating how her guide to changing everything about you in your video, and I was like, this is the most fucked up shit I won't ever do. How about that troll that got on us about like changing our shit or whatever, like going on about it?
Yeah.
And it made me think about it, and I was like, I refuse. And him and I ended up having a good conversation by the end. It's whatever. It's like water under the bridge. Fine. You can talk shit about us
Give
all
a
you want.
fuck about
That's
them
fine.
anyways.
But I'm just saying, like, you came at us. Fine.
Come
but
at me, bro.
But at the end of the day, I refuse. Like, he gave us constructive criticism, whatever.
Yeah.
I refuse to change who the fuck we are.
Yeah, it's
we
not
are
about
not
you.
face tuning us. We are not changing how
Nope.
white our teeth are.
Nope, not
we're
about
not
any of you.
We're not tucking in our fat. We think that we need to tuck it in to get more likes and views and all that. I refuse to fucking change anything about us to be social media people. That's so fucking stupid.
I agree.
I don't understand. You're setting up people for failure. And this country is fat. Not all of us. Most of us are fat. You can call me fat. That's fine. Go ahead, call me fat to my face. I don't care, whatever. But there's people that are fatter than me out there that aren't healthy and don't work out and aren't out there getting off the couch every single day and doing something with themselves. I'm not saying you have to go out there and bust your ass and work out for an hour a day, 30
Right.
minutes a day, 2 hours a day. I'm not saying anything crazy. Go on a walk around the fucking block. Move your body. Your body was designed to move. We're in a age of sedentary, just sit at your computer and you can do everything from your computer. You can do everything from your computer.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
Yep.
And sure, that's great, but that you still have to counteract that with doing something.
I agree.
You know,
You could even go as far as to be a stealth ninja assassin on an airplane
with crocheting
sticks.
Or you could write letters to kitties on farms and attach strings to those letters.
You could do that too.
You could do that too.
You know what I've just discovered?
What? Are you hungry?
I'm getting hungry.
I knew you put your hands on your hips, and I was like,
They're on my chair. They're not on my hips.
He's over with this episode. He wants this over.
I think leaving it now and going, I'm hungry, it's probably not the best way to
When we're
exit.
talking about fat people. So
However,
here's my call to action. That's what it's called.
You know what you didn't do?
I didn't plug us.
any of our
Oh yeah, we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Knock and Talk Pod. I've been active on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, I've been blowing Twitter up. I got fans.
Oh wait, we have a whatchamacallit, TikTok now, which only has 2 videos on it.
There's
I forget
videos
what
on
our
TikTok?
thing is. It's like, look up like Knock and Talk Show or Knock and Talk Pod. It's something like that. But fucking like my videos, because I think I'm fucking hilarious when I make these
she cracks
videos.
herself up.
I think I am so hilarious.
And I'm just looking going, yeah, that's...
You don't think I'm funny at all. The Magic Carpet Ride video was fucking hilarious. You helped me videotape that one.
I did.
That was funny. That was creative.
Hilarious.
I thought it was funny. Whatever. But yeah, that's us. Email us, knockandtalkpod@gmail.com, and support us at patreon.com/The Knock and Talk Show. But I would really, 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 I've been itching for this episode because I just want to talk about fat people and how much they pissed me off after Walmart today. My mom goes, what are you guys doing tonight? And I was like, we're going to go talk shit on the podcast. And she was like, what are you guys going to talk about? And I was like, fat people.
Go to Walmart and you'll find something to talk
piss
about.
You off. But I would like to hear some feedback, whether it's on Instagram, email, whatever. I don't care like what platform you send on Facebook.
Slide in my DMs, bro.
Slide in my DMs. Because I control everything pretty much because Marcus doesn't like to participate in that.
I fucking hate social media.
But I would like to hear if people like to hear the eating disorder stuff, or if like they're like, fuck this shit, like stop fucking talking about it. Because I here's my thing is like, I'm passionate about it now because I'm in a really good place. So like if I can help one person, you're annoyed because you're hungry. If I can help one person, I would like to help one person. If people don't want to fucking hear about it anymore, then I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, I think, we'll keep plugging away. But we need feedback.
We do need
as far as what people want to hear
feedback. Except our 1-star negative review on Apple.
Fuck 'em.
And that's it.
Thanks for the review, fam.
But they didn't write anything.
Appreciate it. Because they got no balls.
You got no balls. You better write something negative if you're going to give us 1 star. Come on.
We got to send our mics back.
Yeah, I can't believe our mics took a shit. But whatever. But...
All right, I'm out.
All right.
You
I
can
had
keep talking.
so much more
It's like
I was
even the
gonna
dogs are
say,
getting antsy.
but I have to go cook dinner for you.
You do.
Because I'm just such a slave driver.
And if you don't cook dinner, I swear.
He's going to beat me up with a tactical pen.
With the tactical pen. Or my crochet sticks.
Your crochet.
But now that I know I can get them on a plane, I'm going to start crocheting.
Is that crazy? Next time you're on a plane, people, pay attention to those crochet sticks.
TSA
Watch out for the Grandma Ninja on the plane.
Grandma, and she's going to rip that mask off and cut your fucking face.
Okay, I think that's a good way to end.
Yeah,
the
we're
show.
getting out of here.
This is getting weird.
Peace out.
Goodbye.